I was talking to my friend at work about Trump coming in and putting the tariffs on, and he said it's going to be interesting, and I said I think it's terrifying, and he thought I said terrifying. I was making a joke, even though I wasn't. So terrifying. There we go. It's a joke.
Terrifying. Yeah. So, someone brought up on social media, on the Blue Sky, which we're on now, um, that history that I had forgotten. But as soon as it was posted, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember learning about this. For what really kicked us into the Great Depression were these tariffs, right? That were placed on goods. I think it was like 60% or something. So all of a sudden, imports were just impossible. And it even at that time when US Steel was still US Steel and other things were still made in the USA, still we required some things to be coming across our borders. And there was this idea and this thinking, and it was with a certain principle of capitalism that was all the rage in the Barron era, right? To protect. At that time, it was for our barons, our U.S. barons that had, they were competing with one another. There was a lot of this was in the fabric and textile business, and anyway, so had gotten the government to start slapping these tariffs on imports for those that to wage this competitive war. And what happened was it kicked us into the Great Depression. Like that's actually the thing that came in and started it. If you study it, the history, that's what kicked us in. And it's in all of our textbooks. It's in all of these papers about the Great Depression that have been written. It was in the newspaper headings at the time. This was a very well-known thing. We are an open society. If you're an adversarial state, Russia, China, Iran, whatever, and you're especially Russia that does this long game and has like been long studying us really carefully and say, how do we get rid of this democracy? How do we topple this? Right? Especially if you're Putin. You're looking at that and it's all right there in black and white, and it's known history. You'd ask your intelligence services, wow, they had a depression there. It was really bad. What caused that? They're going to come back and say, tariffs. Started with these tariffs. And I just can't get past that, Greg, because Donald's barking about tariffs that he started during this is not something this wasn't like an old horse that he was trying to ride back in the first, attempt. This isn't like him getting rid of NATO, which he's been talking about and getting articles written about since the 80s.
Right.
This is like, it was out of nowhere. All of a sudden, tariffs, right? And everybody was in the discourse, in the media discourse, was saying, he doesn't understand what tariffs are. And oh my God, the American people don't understand what tariffs, and everything became about the immediacy of the moment of what increased tariffs would do. And he thinks it's something, and it's not really that something. And it wasn't until that post that I just had a light bulb going. It's like, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's just a theory, obviously, but it just doesn't surprise me, and wouldn't surprise me, that maybe a little birdie got in his ear and was like, okay, we're going to make you sick. We've got RFK coming in there. That's the guy who's going to come in. You're going to get rid of it. Let's get everybody sick, and let's push this country into another big economic freefall. You're going to slap tariffs on shit because that worked so well the last time.